that place was the big theater up 2 floors, was bombed, and this was the house of his mother.
We sat down on the stoop at Zachariah's mother's house and talked about his memories of the theater.
حكيت له هسه عن المسرح انه انت الوحيد ضليتك عايش من كل الفرقه.
اللي بالمسرح والمشاهدين ما ضلش حدا منهم.
Yeah, he says not only the actors are gone, also the people who were watching the theater are not really here anymore. Shh. اعملوا معروف خذوا الاولاد من هون. وين اولادك؟ Oh, it's his boy. Come, تعال. Say hello. Say hello and go home.
اشتريت؟
كيف حالك؟ هات بوسي. اعطيني بوسي انت. وهون كمان وحده.
اشتريتي؟ طب لا تبوس وروحي.
اعطيه بوسي.
يلا.
It's his daughter and his son.
يلا. حطهم بحضنك شوي بس ثانية. يلا تعالي.
اعطيني شوية اشرب انا كمان. شوية.
What does a theater, what does a freedom theater mean to the community today? Is it important?
شو معنى المسرح لكم او للمجتمع هنا حوالينا؟
طبعا المسرح له اكثر من معنى، اول معنى انه المسألة الثانية من خلال خشبة المسرح تقدر تطرح قضيتك، تقدر تطرح قضيتك الفلسطينية للعالم اللي ما بيآمنوا في المقاومة واللي بيعتبروها إرهاب. هاي المسألة الرابعة واللي هي الأهم، المسرح بنعتبره مسرح وبنعتبره مصنع ثقافي.
So do you want to ask him if he sees a time when the average Israeli will be his friend?
في إمكانية إنه يوم واحد أنا كإسرائيلي يعني إحنا مسرحية أقعد معك كصديق.
قعدت معي تالي أسبوعين.
He says, you don't have to wait for the future. I had Israeli friends sitting with me already now. It's so twisted. You know, Israelis come here and they are very surprised how they are not being slaughtered because he's a very dangerous terrorist. Please don't kill us.
Yeah. Not yet.
Thank you.
أنا ما في عندي مشكلة مع.
My mother already will kill me when she sees this footage. One way or another, I'm gone, so toast to new friends, because I'm a goner, no matter how you slice it now.
We don't have problems when any Israeli comes here in peace.
Peace, so near and yet so fleeting. I was eye to eye with a human being no longer hidden by the media mask. Sharing respect, witnessing dignity. And then the cell phones came alive.
Yalla, let's go. We have to move, guys. Change spot.
Israeli jeeps were in the vicinity.
Going this way, yes, right?
It was time to move. I thought about being in Hebron a few days earlier, the soldiers on patrol with their M16s. And here in Jenin, with our dangerous game of cat and mouse.
لا مش مشكلة هدول معاي. خفش.
What if I got caught in the crossfire? There'd be no questioning.
إيه مشكلة؟
I'd be shot on the spot. Jenin perplexed me. As we moved through the camp, my fear of the terrorist was tempered by kindness and friendship. And yet, I was still questioning the iconography of the freedom fighter. Why the attachment to the gun?
Very interesting. He says, don't think that I believe that in my weapon I can free Palestine. I more believe that the stage is much more effective. Me holding a weapon is just to get you understand and see that we are occupied. We are resisting something wrong. But I don't believe that this weapon gonna free us.
So strange our fascination with the gun. A symbol for freedom, but really a symbol of death. As we made our way to the Freedom Theater, we had to say our goodbyes. With the troops nearby, it was no longer safe. I felt partially relieved, but I liked Zachariah and wondered about his fate. When I'd seen him with his kids, I realized we all want the same things in life. For our children to have a better chance, to be there and to help them find their happiness. Would Zachariah be alive next week next month, tomorrow. By what miracle could Zachariah Zubeidi survive? When we got to the theater, a new generation of Palestinian teenagers were in full swing. Before long, Juliana was back at the helm, taking them in new directions.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, we are acting as though we are going to act in an acting play.
I see.
Okay. Fine? كل واحد بيطلع لبرا وبفوت واحد واحد.
السلام عليكم.
ايوه هاي
هاي
ايوه هاي اللي كتلت هي
بدنا نمشي معاه.
هاي صورتها هون بالكاميرا صورتها مع الضابط تاع المخابرات.
It's not me. It's not.
Watching these scenes unfold, I began to get a sense of the importance of Giuliano's work. Children, and especially young men, need a channel to vent their pent-up emotions. Here in the theater, the potential expression of violence is instantly transformed into an expression of art.
كذابي. You speak Arabic.
Nothing.
شو nothing هاي
Okay, okay, okay. خذوا الطاولة على جنب.
During one of the breaks, I noticed some activity over by the stage door. Giuliano ducked outside to discover an unexpected visitor.
السلام عليكم.
After a 16-year absence from the theater, Zachariah had decided to come back home. Inside, Zachariah sat alone and watched a scene similar to what he might have acted out 16 years ago. It wasn't long before he was called back up on the stage.
الإسرائيلي. أنت الإسرائيلي وهو؟ هو الفلسطيني. Okay.
من وين انت؟
انا من جنين.
من جنين؟ تعرف زكريا زبيدي؟
لا
ما بتعرف زكريا زبيدي؟
ولا بعرف هذا.
كذاب.
مثل كذاب.
I watched in awe as this terrorist channeled the magic he had lost in his childhood. He seemed transformed simply by having a means to express himself, a release from years of suppressed anger and rage, hurt and humiliation.
انا مواطن فلسطيني.
في عندك حكم مؤبد. عندك حكم مؤبد.
احكموني مؤبد.
طيب انت بتكون في سجن مؤبد، انا بجيب لك انك تروح تشتغل معنا بتروح.
The prodigal son had returned, and then in a halo of applause, he was gone. Before leaving Jenin, I had the opportunity to put this amazing experience into perspective with Giuliano.
What we just witnessed was, in a weird way, almost like a miracle. How long has it been since he's been in here?
16 years.
And then he just came up to stage, and it was like, that's all he really wants. And you realize that's all anyone really wants, is to express themselves.
Yeah.
To be able to share with other people their real feelings and to be understood and respected. And
Yeah, and to be a child, you know?
Yeah.
He never was a child. There's no childhood. Look at those kids. There has no childhood. I mean, this childhood was torn apart. That guy was a car thief. Ex-prisoner, car thief, brother of a suicide bomber. As human beings, if you give them meaning, if you give them something to live for, they're not gonna become terrorists, they're not violent, they're not genetically violent, they don't look for virgin in the sky, they not kill because they were born killers. As Zachariah said, I don't believe in guns. I don't think the gun can free Palestine. But I believe that culture, poems, songs, books can free Palestine, and it's already freeing a lot of people.